I wanted these to be like this, but I read that they were straight through, but these have got like a, what's it called? Um, diffuser wall. It's got a diffuser wall in it. That's awesome because that's going to make it so my oxygen sensor doesn't have any issues at all. Well, that was easy. I just held it up there, marked it, cut it, stuck it in. Now I have to decide if I want to turn it like this a little bit, which would make it so that it's not touching this existing plastic, and it's still got clearance underneath. Other things will bottom out before that does, I think. Or I could do this and keep it up high so that, and then just cut this away, because that way if I go up on a trailer I know my exhaust ain't gonna hit. So I think I'll just do that. And let's see what it looks like on the outside. So it looks like on the outside. Doesn't stick through the hole nearly as far, so that big gap is now there, which is weird. It's weird that that pipe took up all that space, but that doesn't. Good thing I got a second chance with this cover if I want to take it. Anyway, I could probably cut something out and tack it in right there if I wanted to. All right, so it's 7:37. It's been about, I don't know, a little over an hour since I got home, and these are welded in on both sides. I decided not to do the C-clip because it was a slip over fit. I could probably loosen that and adjust it and make it a gap here and close that gap. I might do that later, right after I'm done recording here. And then next thing I'm gonna do is drop it down and start it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start it. Still doesn't pop right off, so I have to give it a little gas. Oh, I didn't have to give, oh, see, I didn't have to give it gas. To give it gas. Not nearly as loud. I might be getting better oxygen readings because it's trying not to run. I don't know. I just got off work a couple hours ago. I got to work tomorrow first 6, but I decided screw it. I'm going to come out here and drain the oil, and then now I'm this far. Dropped the old valve body out, and there's a video online for this from the people I bought it from, and I put the switch in with silicone and ran the wire through just like they said to, and now I'm ready to put the valve body in and line it up with the linkage. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, I got it in. I plugged the wire in. I torqued all these bolts, all these 3/8 bolts to 10 foot-pounds. And I had to look up in here. Actually, this was dropped down just a little bit more and I was able to see real clearly that it's lined up, and then you're supposed to actually look in here and watch that move, and that looks just like it did in the video. That's park. Okay, now I'm gonna have to fit the pan, and the pan, when I kind of dropped it in there, I might wind up having to grind away at the pan a little bit. The video said that this is brass and I could grind away on it. I'm not sure I want to, but that does look pretty thick right there. I'm just not sure about this part. So, time to test fit the pan. All right, I got 3 bolts started. I had to grind it there, grind it there, grind it there. I had to grind the shit out of this, and I had to grind some of this. But I got 3 bolts started, and I think this must suck fluid, so I'm thinking about finding a thing to drop that down, because it certainly looks like it uses fluid to engage reverse, so I'd have to have the fluid really high, and the filter comes down to here, so I was thinking, well, I'll just put a pipe on there and then I won't have to worry about it sucking air. So I got this on here, and I got to thinking, well, it might suck off the bottom, and it's not filtered. The metal might sink to the bottom. I'm gonna take it back off, and then if I have problems, I'll put it back on later if I have to. Okay, I got the pan on, and I'm ready to put this in. But I gotta decide, I gotta figure out, if it's this one that I gotta put the spring in, or this one that's underneath this cable here. It's the same, it looks the same as that one. On this other transmission, it's the driver's side. But I wanna confirm that before I do anything. So I'll just have to take, if it's this side, I'll take these 4 bolts out, pull this cap off, and there might be a plunger or something in there, and then put a spring in and put it back. Hopefully I can do that with it in the car. That's all that's left. Finally checking the mail, I got my shifter. And there's some bracket pieces in there, and I got these fittings for the power steering. It's leaving a heck of a mess on the floor every time I drive the car. So I'll be wanting to do that. So that'll be maybe tomorrow, because I almost got the transmission done now. Here's the difference between the springs. That's a pretty big difference, I'd say. And this came right out, and the seals don't look that bad, and I don't think I needed a gasket set or a seal set or nothing. I'm just going to put the spring in and throw it back in. I took the valve body back off because that's what the instructions that I found online said to do, because they said that this here would fall, but it didn't. So I probably could have got away with it, but at least this way I know that it's going to go in right. So I'm going to put this back in this hole here with the new spring, and I might have to loosen up this adjuster over here to get this together. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm doing now. All right, it just slapped right in there, same way it came out, and the bolts are started. I'm just going to run them down evenly until it's sealed. And they did have pretty simple instructions for tightening this, so I'm probably going to try to do that before I put everything back together. All right, I got it back together. This is the front one. I got 1 1/4 turns out from snug on that one, and I got on this one in the back for the reverse 3 turns from snug, out from snug, and that's what the video I watched said to do. Hopefully it's correct. Now I just got to put the oil pan back on, and then I can start on my shifter. So I fixed the power steering, hopefully. I got the LMR fitting here, right there, and I got clamps on the return line because I thought that might be leaking. Those were pretty loose. I got a clamp up here too. It was dripping right there on the transmission. It was dripping down right here. I don't know if it was spraying off this hose or coming out the cap or what, but it was doing that. It was dripping all over right here from these fittings or this fitting. Hopefully this fitting on this end is okay. We'll find out. If it is bad, I got this fitting right here that's got the Teflon that's for that side, and it's an AN fitting. That's the fitting I tried to use and it didn't work. It's just an O-ring AN fitting. Evidently there's a difference. So I got that done. The transmission pan isn't on and it shifts. And now I'm gonna take this gear shifter off, but I gotta get up there and put vice grips on these bolts. I gotta take the console apart, and then I can come down here and take these lock nuts off, and then that shifter will come out, and the other shifter is gonna mount back here somewhere, probably a little further back here somewhere, and then I'll just run the cable out this hole instead of, I wouldn't have to worry about drilling a hole. And then I might figure out a way to patch that hole. I don't know, because otherwise it's probably going to let water in or something. So that's where I'm at. I ripped out the old shifter and the console and everything, and I had to get the old shifter out. I didn't really have to get the new shifter in. All that really needed to come out was this piece right here, from here to here. But I cut away at some stuff in here so that the gear shifter could stick through here. At first I had it back here, but then I thought, well, the further forward the better. And that's as far forward as it'll go, because this, when you push it, it wants to try to touch that. So that's perfect right there. There's some holes there in the frame, and it's on a flat side of the tunnel, so that worked out perfectly. So I'm just going to get a drill, and hopefully drilling through the carpet doesn't go too bad. And then I'm going to stick some nuts and bolts through it. Hook up the shifter cable next. Looking in the box, and it comes with these sheet metal screws, and they're kind of big. So that might be a little small, but I'd rather start out small and get a tight fit than too big. So that ought to go through the carpet. Well, the timing's back to being a little messed up, because now it's shifting gears and putting it in different areas of the map. I first started driving it, I forgot it was reverse, so I started out in third gear, and then I was making a run and I shifted, and it acted like it hit reverse. I was like, what the hell? Oh, I'm shifting wrong. I need to shift the other direction. So now I'm doing better. Alright, so the transmission's working. I still got a power steering leak. It's leaking at the return line up by the rack. So I need to put that other fitting on. I need to make a hose with the fitting to match that fitting, and then a hose clamp on the other end. So I'm gonna have to get some hose, and it'll be another day. The timing is, I know it's moving around on the map now based on what gear I'm in, because if I'm in first gear, it rock and rolls all the way through third. But if I start in second, or I downshift, or I run in third gear and then I don't downshift and I give it gas, and then it starts to stumble because the timing isn't right in that area of the map. So still got some work to do, but boy, it's getting close to being ready to go to a tuner. I had an AN fitting at 90, and I had a vacuum hose, and this is a return line. I pulled on this pretty hard and it didn't move, so hopefully that holds, because it's not exactly an AN hose. And ran it up there with what I was going to use to run my booster, but I'm not running that anymore. My brake booster. Gonna have to get a more hose and hook up the vacuum pump for that. But I'm gonna start it and see if it leaks, add some fluid and see if it leaks. Okay, I stopped the power steering leak and I found an oil leak. It was coming from this plug on this side of this relocation kit. I had to tighten that up quite a bit. It was just having a steady stream. Like when it got warm, it expanded and started leaking, because I mean, I guess I didn't notice because I had the power steering leak, so I didn't really notice it was that bad. So we got both leaks fixed. Transmission's working, so I'm gonna probably take it for another run or two in maybe after work tomorrow, and if everything goes good, I'm gonna start trying to look for a tuner. Under the print, light green and red, which is this one, goes to the dummy light, which is the white wire on the plug for the alternator. So I gotta run the white wire to this, and then it should run like a 3-wire alternator. This is the old system, and I found it in the book, so that's the right wire. That'll be the next thing I do. I just can't quit. So I got the plug in. I got the white wire soldered to the green and red wire, and the red wire here is going to the positive terminal. Now the alternator is hooked up a 3-wire way. I'm going to drop it down, route the wires a little better, and start it and see what happens. Well, that's the best it's done in a long time. There's the white wire. I ran it in that sleeve there over to this mess that I'm going to have to eventually clean up. And the other one I just looped back, and it worked. It was advertised as a 1-wire. The guy was adamant that it was a 1-wire. I don't think it was a 1-wire. And if it was, that function wasn't working. Maybe it should have been working, but it wasn't working. So I got the oil leaks fixed, got the transmission done. Man, I'm ready to go. 1 or 2 more test rides, and then we're gonna, and I should probably try to cut a hole in the hood at some point, and then I gotta finish the top. And I mean, as far as the drivetrain goes, I think I'm there. I think I'm there. Well, that's it for the night. It's 10:30 and I gotta work in the morning. So, just gonna call her quits for real this time.